How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Mullen Automotive, which posted up a green day on the Friday, seeing some demand inside of the market. We'll talk about it further in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll go into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Mullen. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $1.48, being up 5.71%. On the low, it tested $1.33, and then on the high, testing $1.55. So when we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 64.634 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 86.472 million shares. So we had below average volume on the day, but we saw some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 36.42. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 21-day EMA, and we're also below the 50-day. But as you can see here, we ended up posting up a green day, and it looks like Mullen is finding some support area here right at $1.33. If this level can continue to hold, I'm looking forward for this coming week to see if we can get a test actually coming to the 50-day, which is around $1.82. We ended up seeing a high of $1.55, so of course that would be the breakout level. Price action above 155, so we can make that move to 182. Now, if we have weakness and it decides to break down now, then as far as support where I'd want to see start stepping in will be right here at $1.15. So that's an area you're going to want to keep an eye on if it decides to pull back there, and then I'd expect that to be some more buying to come into the play as well. But if we continue to have this uptrend, like I said previously, in regards to breaking through that 50-day, then we want to see it reclaim the 21-day EMA. You guys know how much this is a key level for me. So if we can get above $2.10 and start seeing some momentum, then we could get a possible move going to $3, which we know is a psychological area for Mullen. There will be many that will be looking to take profits and so forth, many that are holding on to the stock and are looking to sell from their positions. So that's where I'd want more volume coming in so we can get past that selling pressure and then see if we can make a move to the 100-day at $3.29. Again, most bullish case scenario, I do not see this for the coming week though. I want to make sure I'm being clear about that. But I do think it would be an accomplishment if the stock can get to $2 though. So now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information from Mullen. So green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So taking a look at the recent filing we have here for the 22nd, Private Capital Advisors Inc. that purchased 39,200 shares. And we also did go over the hedge position that we had from Belvedere Trading, which they went with puts and calls, and for puts it was a value of 123,100 shares, and then for calls it was at 63,600 shares. Now taking a look at the short interest, the off exchange short volume ratio is at 36.10%, and then for the off exchange short volume it is just over 12.394 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, short shares availability is at 5 million, updated 5 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate it is at 16.52%, with the max on the day, which was on the Friday, being at 31.88%. So that is a big difference right there. And then when we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 21st, it was at 33.81. And then for the close of the 22nd, being at 36.10. So there is interest from shorts inside of this play, but when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 12.40%, that is a significant change. Yes, there is a lot of shorts, but at the same time, it doesn't have short squeeze potential. I usually tend to look for for 14% or higher. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution from Mullen. So we see on the inflow, it is at 17.80 million, and then on the outflow, it is at 16.31 million. So we ended up having an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 12.33 million. And then on the small, it was 5.47 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 11.58 million. And then on the small, it was 4.73 million. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for the 22nd, so the Friday that just passed, it was 0. And then on the 21st, that's when we had a negative outflow of 2.63 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, it was 0 on both sides. And then taking a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 22.70. So this is not too bad for a volatile stock like Mullen. But one thing that is clear though, posting up a green day while the market was selling off on the Friday does give it an interesting setup going into the coming week. We'll talk about it further inside of the final thoughts, so let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts from Mullen Automotive, when it comes to the price action, so we ended up testing support on the Friday at $1.33. So we continue to see weakness inside of these markets, and if we break that level, then I can see us possibly going to around $1.15. Of course, I'd expect buyers to come in, but if 133 can hold, then I want to see the stock make a move going to $1.82. That's where you're going to want to see Mullen get to $2.10, which is right around the 21-day EMA. I am not guaranteeing this is going to happen. I'm just showing you guys in a technical sense the price action you want to look for, especially when we have bulls coming in and buying up the stock. It did show some strength on the Friday, so that's why I want to make sure I'm not being naive of that. I'm giving you guys what it can look like on the downside, and I'm giving it to you how it can look on the upside. And this is helpful info for anyone who is trading it. If you are an investor, that is a completely different ballgame. This is a speculative play at the end of the day, and it's in the growth sector, I should say, sorry, the tech sector. So knowing that and they're not consistently profitable, there's a lot of risk being in this play. I want to be very clear about that to make sure that you do your homework and you do your due diligence, because if you're going to have the investor mindset for a stock like this, then that means if it pulls back, you shouldn't be complaining. You shouldn't be frustrated whatsoever. If you have a short-term mindset, then you need to make sure you have the right risk management and you have a good idea of what your exit's going to be and making sure that you're getting in with a solid entry. Do not rely on your emotions whatsoever. That's where we have greed coming in, and as well as hope. And hope is one of the worst things to have when you're investing or even when you're trading inside of the stock market. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, the short interest percentage of the float has gone down a bit. And also what I've noticed, it seems to be some short covering that has been going on, especially when we take a look at the short volume as well. So that's why I said it's definitely going to be interesting for this coming week. And where this stock could possibly go is paying attention to those levels that I gave you. If we see weakness inside of these markets, I don't see Mullen continuing to go up. That's just my personal opinion. I know yours might be different, but we have to understand this is the tech sector. We had a big time scare from Jerome Powell saying that 50 basis points is on the table. And knowing that the Fed meeting is in the beginning of May, let's assume that the worst is already over, then there's a good chance Mullen can make a move to the upside. But if it's not and the selling pressure continues, because we have seen no sign whatsoever in regards to a bounce, that's where it can start getting down to that level where I talked about $1.15 and a possibility of getting down to $1. So again, let's see if it could hold support at 133, and if it could do that, then that's where I can see bulls having more confidence to push this price up. If not, then you're going to want to look for some consolidation, because again, you just don't want to see those levels break. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how the stock performs for this coming week. We'll talk soon.